Our day, you got to take a little nug out of the day. Learn from it. These are the things we have learned today. 1023 XLC, Wes and Leah.
Always learning, Wes. I learned a lot today, though.
Okay.
But this in particular, what we learned today is all thanks to Dryer Vent Wizard of Lake Forest and Gurnee. To avoid potential fire hazards, schedule an appointment today at dryerventwizardoflakeforest.com. What I want to talk about, though, is a fake ID. Did you have one?
Kinda. It was a dude that graduated 2 years before me in high school.
Okay.
And I worked at a gas station and he left it there. This was before the days of like calling, texting. Which I called him at his house phone and I was like, hey,
have your ID.
I have your ID. It was left at the gas station I work at. He's like, I already got a different one. I'm like, well, I'm going to use it. And he's like, go for it. So we kind of looked alike, but it wasn't good enough that it should have never worked. But anyway, sorry.
No, I asked you, Tim, did you have one?
I did not.
Okay. So I was fake ID Amanda and it was my girlfriend's ID and we'd go out to the same place.
Use the same ID.
Like,
God, some terrible bouncers out there.
This is going to be an issue, though, in Louisiana, because the state just started courting people to watch porn. So Louisiana, they passed a bill last year to make those sites check IDs to verify if it was users are over 18.
It was like going through customs and I had to show my passport. I'd be like, you again? We got to put them on some sort of...
Well, that is another thing too. But if these sites don't do it, parents can sue. It just went into effect this week. I don't think it's the worst thing.
I think it is a terrible idea. Hold on. No, if you are using that, you know what? I'm sorry.
No.
People are going to take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
It is a really good form of being safe.
To an extent, but it's also a terrible way to set your expectations throughout the rest of your life.
Or you learn some tricks that you probably should have learned sometime in your life. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I'm like a pro wrestler. I've learned so many great tricks.
Said no woman ever. But anyway.
Wes, I don't care what they have to say.
Exactly the issue with it. And I don't think it's the worst idea. I hope that makes its way to Illinois.
Louisiana, then if you love it so much.
I might go raise my kids in Louisiana.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, there's a check my age button. Only government issued IDs work like a driver's license. And if you're under 18, you can't get in. They say it's all private and they're not saving people's info or tracking anyone. The law actually makes that illegal too. The only loophole is sites don't have to do it if less than a third of their content qualifies as porn, which would be then to TikTok. Caden gave the kids his old phone, which still had the TikTok app on it. I had to disable it because, oh my God, his For You page might as well have been that.
They allow that on TikTok?
It's not that. But
Twitter, you can see everything you want on Twitter. Yeah.
They don't allow it on TikTok, but it's definitely too much for my 15-year-old and definitely for my 8 and 7-year-old.
You need to learn it somewhere.
You need an ID for it, though, in Louisiana. That's what I learned.
We should just cut you off and push you into the Gulf of Mexico.
I always forget Louisiana isn't a border.
New Orleans.
I
had a pretty bad hurricane one time.
I always forget. I thought it skipped a state. I always forget. I forget where Louisiana's at. No shame in not knowing my states. Yeah,
it's down there.
Down under.
So in 19... That's Australia. The thunder from down under is all a bunch of people from the bayou.
Nobody's ever gone Louisiana or Australia. Which one?
They're both south from confused.
Here. Anyway, Tim.
Go on.
In 1973, the U.S. Army tried to capitalize on a very popular sport known as football by making their grenades football shaped because they figured since all the boys knew how to throw a football, they'd be able to throw grenades better if they were football shaped. They made them the same size and weight. Problem was there was explosives in there, so you couldn't throw a tight spiral. They discontinued it.
Could you imagine thinking you were playing a football game, though, and it was a grenade?
Hey, Rusty! I might be the only person, I think, that was able to travel in the last couple of weeks and had zero issues. Zero.
I told your wife, I was like, you need to go buy a lotto ticket. The second that your guys' flight took off, I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, we were on Southwest, the one that was having the hardest go of it. But anyway, this one wasn't Southwest, but another carrier, and a traveler lost the airline lost their luggage. Ended up that it was at a apartment complex that was abandoned. And a McDonald's. That's where the delivery people brought it to. The tags got changed. Somehow the tags got changed and ended up there. And when the woman called the airline to complain about this, she was told to calm down. Shared on Twitter and people erupted about it. But sometimes I'm like,
first of all, don't we already know you don't tell a woman to calm down?
Right. Always a woman. That's sexist.
Oh, well,
customer service is always a woman.
I thought you said no.
I said customer service told the woman to calm down.
Yes, you don't tell the woman to calm down.
Okay, yeah.
And so 1 and 2, especially if you lost their stuff, like you lost my belongings.
See, I went out of my way because being on Southwest, and I was like, these poor people that are just doing their job, the flight attendants, the pilots, the gate people, they're just doing their jobs. And I went out of my way and I was like, I got on the plane. I'm like, I looked at the first flight attendant when I walked on. I was like, how's your week going? She's like, don't start with me right now. Do not start with me. I'm like, so is that good on? She's like, actually, it hasn't been as unpleasant as they're making it sound.
Wow, you went out of your way to be sarcastic to somebody. That's crazy.
So how you doing?
What's your problem, Leah? What's your problem?
Hi, can I take your order?
Yeah, I'll have a Big Mac.
Would you like this guy's socks with that?
No socks, thank you. But I will take that blow dryer for my wife.
Would you like to add a curling iron for an extra $1?
Yep, perfect. And a large fry.
Could I interest you in this guy's underwear, too?
Yeah, sure.
Pull around for your food and this guy's stuff, please.